Strap in, boys and girls. This is going to be a rough one. All right, what's up, guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2014 Nissan Versa. Up front is a 1.6-liter inline 4, and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission.
This video is sponsored by CarMarshal.com. If you'd like to support the channel, click the link down in the description below. CarMarshal.com advertises for over 100,000 vehicles across the US.
Well, before we get on to the drivetrain, I want to make something clear. I rented this car for the last 2, almost 3 days. I've been driving this car around. I've been taking it on the highway. Pretty much, I've taken this thing all over Dallas. And so, my criticisms of this car might be harsh, but it's just what I've been experiencing over the last couple of days. And at the end, I'm going to kind of talk about why that's pretty much okay. But let's get back to that 1.6-liter inline 4. Well, it produces some horsepower. It's probably under 100 horsepower, honestly. It's fine. It's whatever. It does the job. It'll get you up to 80 miles an hour, which is what everyone here in Dallas does on the side streets. On the highway, everyone does about $120, which is just, it's insane. I legitimately think if you ain't first, you're last is written or printed on everyone's license when they get it here. It's just insane. So the car will do 80, but nothing more. Please do not ask it to do any more. That being said, when you do get up to speed, it cruises fine. It gets decent gas mileage. I'll put it up on the screen. You know, like I said, I've been driving for about 2 days. I've only burned half a tank. I took it all the way into Dallas. You know, I've taken this thing everywhere, and I've only burned half a tank, so I am very grateful for that. This thing sips on gas. And of course, I know that this isn't a performance car. This isn't made to go fast. People might criticize me for like, oh, you know, it's not supposed to be fast. Why are you thinking it's fast? It's not fast. It's not supposed to be fast, and it isn't fast. But like I said, paired to it is a 5-speed manual transmission. I got this car. I rented this car specifically, 1, because it was cheap, and 2, because it had the manual transmission. I wanted to spend my vacation, well, workcation. I came down here to film, but I wanted to spend my time down here in Dallas shifting gears. I miss driving stick shift every day when I had the RX-7. I missed it, and so I opted for this. The clutch grabs super low. It's almost an on-off switch. It definitely feels hydraulic, but it grabs real low. There's maybe an inch of pedal travel, and that's about it. And the shifter feels cheap. It feels loose. It doesn't feel great, but at least I do know what gear I'm in. I don't have to guess. It is what it is. Last but not least, if you didn't know, the Versa is front-wheel drive. So let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 2 gauges. In the center is my speedometer. To the left of that is a tachometer, and then on the right is a little orange readout. Nissan loves their orange readouts, and that carries on here in the Versa. I can look at my odometer. I can have trip odometers, MPG, average MPG, miles till empty, and then we're back to the odometer. Very, very basic here, but at least it gives you a little bit of information. I do not have a coolant gauge, which I would really, really like. I wish I had a coolant gauge, but unfortunately I don't get that. The steering wheel has absolutely nothing on it. This car does not have cruise control at all. To the left of me, I have traction control off, and that's it. A lot of dead switches over here. This is a base model Versa. And so that becomes even more apparent when we come over to the door. It has crank windows. Again, very base model. I have to... All right, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you get the point. In the center, I do have 2 vents and my standard radio. I do have aux in, which is nice. It's some form of way to get your music, although I did need a dongle for my iPhone, but we won't talk about my dongle. It's very outdated, but it works, and the speakers are not great. It's a very raspy, it almost sounds like you're just playing it off your iPhone extra loud up here. It's not that great, but it has a radio with an aux. Then I have my climate controls, fan options, where to send the hotness or coldness, and then how hot or cold you want it. Very, very basic. Center console wise, we have a cup holder and the shifter. The shifter looks cheap because it is, and nothing more. The seats actually aren't bad. The seats, I haven't really had too much trouble these last couple days with. It hasn't been like the most comfortable thing in the world, and they don't really soak up the bumps at all, but they're decent seats. My back hasn't hurt. I've been all right. I've been doing all right with these seats. I can live with these. That's fine. But we do have back seats, so we'll hop in the back real quick, and then we'll come back up here. Oh yeah, no no power locks, so where is it? There it is. All right, so we're in the back of the 2014 Nissan Versa. I have pretty much no anything back here. I mean, I don't even have like a center console. The seats feel like a neoprene wetsuit. Still crank down windows back here. Manual locks, as you just saw, so you do have to like reach back to lock them. So manual locks, just something to know if you do get a base model. Headroom is actually good. Legroom is actually really good. Overall, it's a really spacious back seat for a Versa. I mean, really, you have to keep that in mind. This is a Versa. I mean, this is good. This is actually really, really good. I am very pleasantly and very happily surprised with the back seat. Now the looks, I mean, what look are we talking about? This thing doesn't look stunning. It doesn't look good. I mean, it's just like, it is what it is. You look at it and you say, that's a Nissan Versa, nothing more. I don't know what else you want to say. And of course, I got the most drab color, which is, of course, silver. But I think the later redesigned ones were a lot better looking. All right, we're going to merge onto the highway, which here in Texas is essentially Dallas Motor Speedway. All right, here we go. It's also coming up on rush hour. Oh, God. The thing that I don't like about this thing is that it's so small. I'm so easily persuaded. I don't feel like comfortable cruising on the highway in this thing because everyone just rips past me. Watch, this silver Honda Accord is just taking me down. And then I ran out of gears. I'm up in 5th gear. I'm not gonna accelerate anymore. Listen, I am annoyed with this car. I don't like this car. It's not a good car. It's not a good car. Is it a car though? Yes. And so at the end of the day, I have to be thankful for this because I flew down here to Dallas. I didn't have a car of my own. And so through renting, I was able to obtain one. I was able to get my freedom. This Versa gives me my freedom. And so while, yes, it's drab, it isn't great. I sure do hate driving it, especially on the highway. You're seeing people just rip past me. I don't feel safe in this thing. I don't feel good in this thing. But I'm here in Texas. I'm 1,000 miles away from home. I was able to see the people at Track Dog Racing. I was able to review a right-hand drive FD. I was able to stay with my friend Hubert, all because of this car. I had the freedom to do so. I have the ability to do so. Because I have a car, this car means freedom. This car is freedom. And so as much as I hate it, as much as I'm uncomfortable, as much as I wish it had power windows and cruise control, it's opened a lot of doors for me. And so from that standpoint, I can't ever really hate a car too much. Would I buy a Nissan Versa? Not in a million years. This was a cheap car when it was built. This was a cheap car when it was first sold. And 6 years later, it's still a cheap car. And it'll remind you that it's a cheap car every day and every night. I dislike the Nissan Versa a lot, but it'll always have a small, small place in my heart because it allowed me to come to such a great city like Dallas. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're looking to buy a Nissan Versa, I think you should know what you're getting into. And if you fully understand that it is a cheap, cheap car that is thin and flimsy, then by all means, go ahead with your purchase if you're comfortable with that. For me, I drive too much. I drive too much to drive something that I dislike. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys. Aside from my soul.